What's going on, everyone? I wanted to talk about the fighting game ecosystem. So when it comes to the fighting game scene and even like the community, there's a lot of talented people, whether they're doing art, whether they're doing content creation, whether they're pro players. There's so much things going on, but why is it that there isn't the whole connection between the fighting game community and the fighting game developers? Often we see games go from being played a lot to a Discord game server. And what I mean by a Discord game server, meaning that a game is only played online when two people can meet up and they can play online together. Otherwise, if you try to go look in ranked matches, you won't find anyone. It'll be a ghost town. Now, in my opinion, I personally feel like the fighting game developers can do a lot more when it comes to communicating with their audience, because the thing is, essentially, a game like DNF Duel, for example, the game was pretty fun at the start and it felt like there was a community that was supporting it. But then what happened is that people started to understand that the game was a bit busted, and then people stopped playing the game. So then now they've started to get into this panic stage and then started to release some stuff. So they've got a whole new balance update and they've got another character that's coming out in the game. So like, for me personally, it's like, all right, well, this does spark interest to even me. But again, it's like you should have someone maybe that you can talk to about like the game and stuff like that, that's a part of the community. And I feel like that's what's lacking in fighting game communities. So, you know, I'm from the Tekken scene and I feel like Tekken 7 was a great game, but there was a lot of bugs, there was a lot of balance issues, there's a lot of things that kind of make the game, I feel like it makes the game have these issues. Like, for example, there's characters like Akuma that shouldn't be still busted after 4 years, 5 years, 6 years into the game. These changes should have been changed ages ago. But also what happens is, if you listen to the community will do bias updates and bias thoughts on characters that they main. So you can and cannot listen to the community. Maybe you have to trust someone that actually knows what they're talking about. My thoughts on the fighting game ecosystem and how I think it would work is, if you had the fighting game developers that develop the game and then start doing stuff promotional wise to content creators and stuff like that as well, to get their game out there and to help them get the sales. And then when the game is out, you know, you're going to get the pro players, you're going to get content creators, you're going to get loads of people that are interested in the game. Maybe build a seasonal roadmap. We're going to get into another video talking about seasonal roadmap at a later date, but maybe building a seasonal roadmap so people can be interested in the game's development. They will still see that the game is still developing even though the game is out already. So yeah, that is what I think in terms of the whole fighting game ecosystem. I feel like there's so much talented people. When I go on Twitter, I'm always seeing people do content creation, whether it's to do with a video, whether it's to do with art, fan art as well, like even meme content. There's so much of that going on, and I don't feel like it gets picked up by the fighting game developers. It's like they're on their own island and we've got this big island with loads of content creators, and I feel like that's wrong, because these essentially are the people that keep your game alive. Once you release a game, if no one plays it, no one is gonna be influenced to buy the game. So you have to kind of figure out, is this a thing where you want people to buy the game? Is this a thing where you want people to, you know, talk about it and you want your game to be trending and stuff like that? Or is this just simply a game you want people to play and that's it? Because that is the old model. And I feel like most of these Japanese fighting game developers, they kind of got this old model and they're not really intact with what's going on right now. If you look at League of Legends, Dota and those games, like League of Legends, they have like music videos, they have like opening ceremonies and big stadiums and stuff like that as well. And I don't really feel like fighting games is far off from that. I feel like it's just to get the whole balance of having a fighting game ecosystem, you know, keeping the people excited, keeping the content creators invested into what's going on. Maybe even try and give them like a, I don't know, a brand deal or something like that. Or even do some campaigns. Do some campaigns with players, maybe even the casual players. You know, you have to kind of keep it going. I feel like that's the one thing fighting games lack. They just don't know how to market properly. I do see that they are trying to do things. Street Fighter 5 had a roadmap of loads of different things they ironed out before it kind of crashed, because, you know, when Street Fighter 5 first came out, they had this thing where it was bare bones. And then at the end of it, they had DLC, they had, you know, you could buy costumes, you could buy loads of different things, titles for online, and it was very interesting. Tekken 7 was, yeah, I mean, it had DLC and it had seasonal pass, but there's not much room in terms of content other than playing games, doing guides, doing tutorials, and that's it. So yeah, I do feel like fighting game ecosystem could be created by the fighting game developers just to kind of have that network and know who the audience is. But let me know what you lot think of the fighting game ecosystem, because personally I just feel like there's a lot that's missing and lacking, and I see always people talking about fighting games is broke, there ain't much opportunity to fighting games, there's, you know, if you play another game you'll get loads more opportunities. I don't disagree. I've had a lot of brand deals from loads of different things outside of fighting games, and fighting games don't really seem to have that. So maybe that's something that's lacking. And again, fighting game developers, I know they have money, so even like a small change would work, or even just recognition, a retweet, a reshare from like the smaller content creators. They will feel like they're a part of something, and I feel like that is what's missing when it comes to the fighting game ecosystem. But let me know what you lot think in the comment section down below. This is some different type of content that we're trying to do, so it would be great if you lot could subscribe and let me know what you think of this type of content. We're going to be on to the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.